President Obama, I don't welcome leaks, because there's a reason why these programs are classified. I think that there is a suggestion that somehow any classified program is a secret program. Which means it's somehow suspicious. The fact of the matter is, in our modern history, there are a whole range of programs that have been classified because when it comes to for example, fighting terror, our goal is to stop folks from doing us harm. And if every step that we're taking to try to prevent a terrorist act is on the front page of the newspapers or on television, then presumably the people who are trying to do us harm are going to be able to get around our preventive measures. That's why these things are classified. But that's also why we set up congressional oversight. These are the folks you all vote for as your representatives in Congress. And they're being fully briefed on these programs. And if, in fact, there were abuses taking place, presumably those members of Congress could raise those issues very aggressively. They're empowered to do so. We also have federal judges that we put in place who are not subject to political pressure. They've got lifetime tenure as federal judges, and they're empowered to look over our shoulder at the executive branch to make sure that these programs aren't being abused. So we have a system in which some information is classified. And we have a system of checks and balances to make sure that it's not abused. And if, in fact, this information ends up just being dumped out willy-nilly without regard to risks to the program, Risks to the people involved in some cases, on other leaks. Risks to personnel in a very dangerous situation. Then it's very hard for us to be as effective in protecting the American people. That's not to suggest that you just say, trust me, we're doing the right thing, we know who the bad guys are. And the reason that's not how it works is because we've got congressional oversight and judicial oversight. And if people can't trust not only the executive branch but also don't trust Congress and don't trust federal judges to make sure that we're abiding by the Constitution, due process and rule of law, then we're going to have some problems here. But my observation is that the people who are involved in America's national security, they take this work very seriously. They cherish our Constitution. The last thing they'd be doing is taking programs like this to listen to somebody's phone calls. And by the way, with respect to my concerns about privacy issues, I will leave this office at some point. Sometime in the next 3.5 years, and after that, I will be a private citizen. And I suspect that, on a list of people who might be targeted so that somebody could read. Their emails or listen to their phone calls, I'd probably be pretty high on that list. It's not as if I don't have a personal interest in making sure my privacy is protected. But I know that the people who are involved in these programs, they operate like professionals. And these things are very narrowly circumscribed. They're very focused. And in the abstract. You can complain about Big Brother and how this is a potential program run amok. But when you actually look at the details, then I think we've struck the right balance. Thank you very much, guys. That's it? I thank you. Barack Obama. On the Affordable Care Act benefits and website logistical challenges. Delivered October 21, 2013, Rose Garden, White House, Washington, D. C. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Well, thank you. Janice. And thanks to everybody here for coming on this beautiful day. Welcome to the White House. About 3 weeks ago, as the federal government shut down. The Affordable Care Act's health insurance marketplaces opened for business across the country. Well, we've now gotten the government back open for the American people. And today I want to talk about how we're going to get the marketplaces running at full steam, as well. And I'm joined today by folks who have either benefited from the Affordable Care Act already, or who are helping their fellow citizens learn about what this law means for them and how they can get covered. Of course, you've probably heard that healthcare Gov, the new website where people can apply for health insurance. And browse and buy affordable plans in most states hasn't worked as smoothly as it was supposed to work. And the number of people who have visited the site has been overwhelming. which has aggravated some of these underlying problems. Despite all that, thousands of people are signing up and saving money as we speak. Many Americans with a pre-existing condition, like Janice, are discovering that they can finally get health insurance like everybody else. So today, I want to speak to every American who's looking to get affordable health insurance. I want you to know what's available to you and why it may be a good deal for you. And for those who've had some problems with the website, I want to tell you what we're doing to make it work better and how you can sign up to get covered in other ways. But before I do that, let me remind everybody that the Affordable Care Act is not just a website. It's much more. For the vast majority of Americans, for 85% of Americans who already have health insurance through your employer or Medicare or Medicaid, you don't. Need to sign up for coverage through a website at all. You've already got coverage. What the Affordable Care Act does for you is to provide you with new benefits and protections that have been in place for some time. You may not know it, but you're already benefiting from these provisions in the law. For example, because of the Affordable Care Act, young people like Jasmine Jennings and Jessica Ugalde and Ezra Salop, all of whom are here today, they've been able to stay on their parents' plans. Until they're 26. Millions of other young people are currently benefiting from that part of the law. Another part of the Affordable Care Act is providing Seniors with deeper discounts on their prescription medicine. Billions of dollars have been saved by seniors already. That's part of the law. It's already in place. It's happening right now. Already, because of the Affordable Care Act. Preventive care like mammograms and birth control are free through your employers. That's part of this law. So there are a wide range of consumer protections. And benefits that you already have if you've got health insurance. You may not have noticed them, but you've got them, and they're not going anywhere. And they're not dependent on a website. Here's another thing that the Affordable Care Act does. In states where governors and legislatures have wisely allowed it, the Affordable Care Act provides the opportunity for many Americans to get covered under Medicaid for the first time. So in Oregon, for example, that's helped cut the number of uninsured people by 10% just in the last 3 weeks. Think about that. That's 56. More Americans who now have health care. That doesn't depend on a website. Now, if you're one of the 15% of Americans who don't have health insurance either because you can't afford it, or because your employer doesn't offer it, or because you're a small business person and you have to go out, on the individual market and buy it on your own and it's just too expensive. October 1st was an important date. That's when we opened the new marketplaces where people without health insurance, or who can't afford health insurance, or who aren't part of a group plan, can finally start getting affordable coverage. And the idea is simple. By enrolling in what we're calling these marketplaces, you become part of a big group plan as if you were working for a big employer, a statewide group plan that spreads risk between sick people and healthy people. Between young and old, and then bargains on your behalf for the best deal on healthcare. What we've done is essentially create a competition where there wasn't competition before. We created these big group plans, and now insurers are really interested in getting your business. And so insurers have created new healthcare plans with more choices to be made available through these marketplaces. And as a result of this choice and this competition, prices have come down. When you add the new tax credits that many people are eligible for through the law, then the prices come down even further. So one study shows that through new options created by the Affordable Care Act, nearly 6 in 10 uninsured Americans will find that they can get covered for less than $100 a month. Think about that. Through the marketplaces, you can get health insurance for what may be the equivalent of your cell phone bill or your cable bill, and that's a good deal. So the fact is the product of the Affordable Care Act for people. Without health insurance is quality health insurance that's affordable. And that product is working. It's really good. And it turns out there's a massive demand for it. So far, the national website, Healthcare. Gov, has been visited nearly 20 million times. 20 million times. And there's great demand at the state level as well. Because there are a bunch of states that are running their own marketplaces.